Good morning, everyone. I'm Martin Wenzel. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator and our World Tour Flight 267, I believe. 207. And I forgot to do things here. 1 second. Oh. I just want to make sure we can get the chats popping up on the screen. Everyone, if you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube. All right. Can't hear anything. There we go. All right, so it is just after 6 Zulu time, 6:01 Zulu time in Sim. I think that's about 3 o'clock local time here in Narita, Japan, just outside Tokyo. We're at Narita International Airport, and we're gonna be flying over to Chinggis Khaan International Airport in or near Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, on MIAT, Mongolian Airlines. Flight 502 in the Boeing 737-800 for PMDG simulations. For our World Tour flight, 267. Yep. All right. So we got things going. Passengers are starting to board, so let's actually get GSX to do that. Well.
Boarding requested.
All right. So. A little bit of an issue. Oh, I didn't set up my payload though. Oh, that should be fine. Cool. Had a little bit of issue trying to get FS HUD ATC working. It doesn't recognize our arrival airport, so we're actually going to ZMUB, according to that. I believe is the other airport for Ulaanbaatar. Alright, 159 passengers, so we only need 9. We'll go full economy. Oh no, 11. 11 in first class. 11 in first class. There we go. Alright, I'll also get the rest of our payload going here. The cargo. Why?
Passengers boarding started.
Alright, 1500, and then what would that be? Completely blanking out here how to do math. There we go. Alright, and our fuel today, so why is it in pounds? I don't know. It likes to do that. Really annoying.
Go ahead. Hi there, just to let you know that we've started building the aircraft. We'll let you know as soon as it's completed. Roger. Ground 2 cockpit. Go ahead. Hi Captain, just to let you know that the aircraft is now fueled as requested. Roger. Ground 2 cockpit. Go ahead. Hi there, we're now refueling the aircraft and we'll let you know once it's completed. Roger. Ground 2 cockpit. Go ahead. Hi Captain, fueling has been completed. Roger.
They're gonna keep telling me that the fueling is done, but it's like, not yet. Just calm down on that. Alright. Now we are ready to go. That's fun. Okay. Sometimes. Alright, so let's get things set up in this plane. We got all the passengers starting to come on and barely set up. Alright, we do have ground power, so let's get the APU going. We'll let the ground crew know we're gonna start the APU.
Go ahead. Stand by for ground power disconnection. We're starting the APU now. Roger. We'll monitor the startup from down here and let you know if we see anything untoward. Roger.
Okay, all looks good there. Go up top and get our IRS aligning. Airspeed warning test, stall test, flaps test. Alright, I don't know why our frame rate is so low, but it is. Alright, so our airport today, we're coming out of Narita. So we want Romeo, Juliet, Alpha Alpha. 867. Copy that down. Back up top. Nav and nav. Feels like I'm at New York or something, my frame rate. I don't know what's going on lately. And we're going to Zulu, Mike, Charlie, Kilo. Flight number, Mike Golf, Lima, Mongolian Air 502. Get our flight clearance.
Narita clearance, Juliet Uniform 1015, gate
Ground 2
67,
cockpit.
request clearance to BNG car with
Go
information echo. Juliet Uniform 1015, cleared.
Hi there, just to let you know that we've started moving the aircraft. We'll let you know as soon as it's completed.
4000, then is
Roger.
Squawk 6454. Cleared to BNG car via Saka 5, departure, runway 16 right, initial climb 4000, then is filed, score 6454, Juliet Uniform 1015. Juliet Uniform 1015, redback correct, when ready, contact Narita ground, 121.95. 121.95, Juliet Uniform 1015.
It would be nice to have this all just to be able to pull in from the A cars. Right from SimBrief into the computer, but we're gonna have to do it all. We got a little bit different here, not Tetra, but the rest is gonna be the same. So NPAR, direct to NPAR. Yankee 16. Having a hard time clicking today. Zapra. Yankee 685. Echo Limo. Oh, Lima. Yankee 697. Gavo. Direct to IKEA. Or Ikeka. Rather. Whiskey 4. Hotel Charlie Hotel. Doviv. Whiskey 55. Charlie Golf. Direct to Ladix. Bravo 339. Villa. Alpha 575. Aniku. And then we're just going to have to go off on our own here. Direct to Torov. And then we're just going to follow what we have in SimBrief because FSI ATC doesn't recognize the new airport, I guess. And so it's not going to give us the approach in to there. So we're going to have to do everything just ourselves. Torov, activate, execute, departure arrival. We are departing runway 16 right. And we got the Sacker 5 departure. Navgrass and head in. Five, add to route. Transition should be NPAR. Yep, it is. Cute. The legs. And looks fine. Alright, get our Peripheral page finished up. So our reserve fuel today, 3.5. Cost index of 80. Cruise, 320. Our wind, 276.29 knots. And our top of climb temperature is negative 30 degrees Celsius. Transition altitude out of here, 14,000 feet. That, go to N1. Our performance calculator. Runs 1.6 right. We got winds 173 knots. Headwind knots. Calculate. Alright, so 26K takeoff. Well, that stays the same. Go to takeoff page, flaps 5. Page, runway, wind 170 at knots.
Ground 2 cockpit.
We have dry
Go
runway.
ahead. Hi, Captain. Fueling has been completed. Roger.
V speeds V1 149, VR 149, and V2 157. A little bit different than, about the same as what we got in the calculator. That looks good. Plenty of runway to spare too.
057, cleared to Romeo Papa Lima Lima, 5 Papa India Golf to Kilo 2, departure, runway 16 right, initial climb 4,000, then as 5.
Cebu Air making a move. Alright, I think... take off. Good. Got our initial climb to 4,000. Plug that in. The altitude 4,000. At 4,000 heading for the runway 16 right. 157. To 157. Plus 10, so we go 167 per that. Flight directors both on. Alright, so I didn't do all the different checks here, our fire tests and stuff. We'll do that right now. Make sure everything's working, just in case. We've had a few issues on some of our flights lately. We want to make sure. Gas test.
TCAS test. Pass.
Alright, perfect. Head up top, yaw damper, our flight controls covered, spoilers covered, alternate flaps covered, navigation normal. Displays, auto, normal, engine valve closed, spar valve closed, lights are dimmed, fuel pumps on. We do have APU, which we've actually gotten our this going.
Hello.
Hi there, Captain. All of the passengers are now on board.
We're just awaiting the load sheet from ground. As soon as we have it, feel free to close the doors.
No problem. I'll bring it to you as soon as they send it up. You still have time to do the welcome announcement. That should pass some of the time.
Good afternoon from the cockpit. This is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board this afternoon as we fly to Ulaanbaatar, Sergelen. We're currently preparing for departure up here in the cockpit, and once we're airborne, we'll be climbing to our cruise level of 32,000 feet. We're not anticipating any delays, so we hope to be underway very shortly. Once we push back from the stand, the cabin crew will start securing the cabin. As we head to the departure runway, please make sure you're seated and secured as they make their way around the aircraft. The weather is looking good, so it should be a nice, comfortable climb up to our cruise level. Once we're airborne, there shouldn't be any issue during our climb. It's a pretty straightforward departure out of the airport, so nothing to worry about there. It looks as though the en route winds are in our favor, so there shouldn't be any issue getting to our destination on time. However, we will keep you informed throughout the flight if there changes. The ground crew have finished loading the aircraft, so if you could get yourself seated and secured, we'll be able to get going straight away. Thank you very much for flying with us, and I hope you enjoy the flight.
Alright, just waiting on the loading to finish, about a minute with that. I'm gonna field truck away as well. I didn't notice it before. Yeah, it kind of looks Asian. I know that was part of it, but I haven't noticed it too much. Kind of in a mix. There we go.
Loading has been completed. We're sending the load sheet up to you now. We're waiting for you to close up. Once the beacon light is switched on, we'll contact you to begin pushback. Roger. Cockpit to ground. Hello.
Hi, Captain. Okay, here's the load sheet from ground. I've written the passenger count here, the crew count here, and the total number of souls, not including yourselves, here.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, looks like we're all set to go whenever you're ready.
All right, you can close the doors whenever you're ready.
Okay, and let the crew know, and we'll get closed up as soon as we can.
Go ahead.
Always good to see other planes around. Exactly what we're looking for. All right, we are going to push back to the. Our tail is facing to the right.
We won't require pushback today, so feel free to get disconnected whenever you're ready. Ground 2 cockpit. Go ahead. Just a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flights, you might want
Alright,
to
I'm going to turn off.
if
I'm
you
going to
haven't
have cell
already.
phone car just disconnect right now.
We're ready to disconnect.
Doesn't get
Thanks for the
confused
help.
with the pushback.
Pin straight ahead and we'll see you next time.
Alright. Parking brake
Just
released.
a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flights, you might want to start it now if you
Yes,
haven't
yes, yes,
already. Cabin crew, please arm doors.
Beginning pushback. Left and right pack off. Starting engine 2. Okay, so we got start valve open, low oil pressure. Engine 1, we're looking for 25% here.
Хүндэт зорчигчдоо MIAT компани Boeing 767-300 агаарын хөлөгт давтаа мөрөлнө. Та бүхнийг хідэн хором аюулгүй ажиллагааны мэдээлэлд анхаарлаа хандуулахыг хүсье.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board MIAT Mongolian Airlines Boeing 767-300 aircraft. Please pay attention for a few minutes for safety information.
Та бүхэн гадуур хувцас гар тэшээ суудлын дээрх тэшний тавил хүндэт зэвсээ өмнөх суудлынхаа доор байрлуулна. Бүхэгийн гол зам ослын гарцны дэргэд болон та бүхний хөл орчимд эд зүйлс суул байж болохыг анхааруулна.
Please stow your carry-on luggage in the overhead bins. Heavy articles must be under the seat in front of you. Exit areas, aisles, and floor space around your feet must be kept clear of baggage at all times.
Таны аюулгүй байдалд тав тухыг хангах үүднээс агаарын хөлгийн бүхээх, ялангуяа ариун цэврийн өрөөнд нислэгийн туршид гутаад болон электрон тамхи татахыг хуулиар хоригддог болохыг сануулъя.
For your safety and comfort, we operate non-smoking flights. Smoking cigarettes or e-cigarettes anywhere on board, including within the lavatories, is strictly prohibited by the law.
Аюулгүй ажиллагааг хангах үүднээс гар утас, бусад ядрон дамжуулагч болон хүлээн авахч зөөврийн жижиг зүтгэн хэрэгслүүд одоо нислэгийн оронд шийдвэрлэнэ. Зөөврийн компьютер зэрэг том авийн цэцлэг мөнгөнчлөн хувийн хэрэглээний чиглэлээр агаарын төлөв бүрх буухад ашиглахгүй байхыг сануулъя.
For safety reasons, with the exception of handheld personal electronic devices in flight safe mode, the use of electronic devices and personal headphones is not allowed during takeoff and landing. These devices must remain turned off and stowed until you are advised by your cabin crew.
Агаарын хөлөг хуурч буух, мөн суудлын бүсний гэрлэн дохио ассан үед
Starting engine 1.
сууж суудлын бүсээ хийцгэнэ. Суудлын бүсийг тайлахдаа дээд хавхлагыг өргөнө. Та бүхний сууж байхдаа болон унтаж байх хугацаанд суудлын бүсээ тогтмол ил харагдахуйц зүүж өөрийн аюулгүй байдал тав тухай хангахыг хүсье.
Please fasten your seatbelt for takeoff and landing, and whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. To unfasten the seatbelt, lift the flap and pull the ends apart. If you plan to sleep during the flight, please make sure your seatbelt is fastened and visible.
Бүлгийн бүхээгт хүчил дөрөгчийн хэвийн хэмжээ алдагдсан үед хүчил дөрөгчийн баг таны дээрээс бууж ирнэ. Энэ үед та багийг өөр рүүгээ татаад ам хамрын гадуур зууж өөртөө тохируулж чадлаа хэвийн амьсгална. Багийг өөртөө гүйцэд зүүсний дараа зэрэгэлдэх бусад хүнд тусална.
Should there be a rapid change in cabin pressure, oxygen masks will appear in front of you. Pull the mask towards you to activate the oxygen supply. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, adjust the elastic band to secure it, and breathe normally. When your mask is fitted correctly, you may assist others.
Ослын буултын үнэтэй дэлгэцээр үзүүлж байгаачлан дөрвөлтөөс хамгаалах байдлыг авч дөрвөлтөөс хамгаална.
In case of an emergency landing, please take the brace position as shown on the screen.
Таны хантаад суудлын доор эсвэл суудлын тоховчон доор байрлах ба бид усан дээр ослын буулт хийхэд ашиглана.
Your life vest is either under your seat or under the armrest, and it must be used in the event of emergency water landing.
Багийн гишүүд хантаазаа өмсөх зааварчилгааг өгсөн тохиолдолд хантаазыг байгаа газраас нь авч суугаагаараа өмсөд бүсийг чанга буслана. Зөвхөн агаарын хөлгөөс яг гарахын өмнө аврах хантаазны доод хэсэгт байгаа Ulaanbaatarыг доош татаж хийх юм. Гүйцэд хийлэгдээгүй тохиолдолд хантаазны дээд хэсэгт байх улаан цорго руу үлээж хийлнэ.
When instructed by your crew, remove it from its container and pull it over your head while seated. Bring the tape around your waist and fasten in front. Pull the loose end to secure. Only inflate your life vest as you are leaving the aircraft by pulling the red toggle sharply downwards. You can also inflate the life vest by blowing into the mouthpiece.
Tango 9, Tango Romeo, Whiskey 6, Alpha 4, Juliet Uniform 1015.
Тарааж өгнө.
Infant life vest will be distributed by the cabin crew when needed.
Одоо та бүхэн өөрийн судалд ойр байрлах аврах гарцын байршлыг тогтоож авна. Энэ агаарын хөлгийн аврах гарц нь дэлгэцээр үзүүлж байгаачлан урд дунд хойд хэсгүүдэд байрлах ба гарц бүр тусгайлан тэмдэглэгдсэн байгаа.
Alright, I have to start checklist. Generators on. Probe heat on. Anti-ice off. Isolation valve auto.
To locate the emergency exit nearest to your seat. The emergency exits are clearly marked and the locations are as shown on the screen. Escape path lighting will
Park
lead
switch
you
is
to the
continuous.
emergency
We're
exit.
almost ready, so you can take your seats now.
No problem.
Recall checked. Auto brake. Checked takeoff RTO. Flight controls checked. Ground equipment
Each
cleared.
exit
We got
door
taxi
is equipped
clearance.
with emergency escape slides. In case of emergency landing
There
on
are
water,
flaps to-
these slides will be used as rafts.
What?
Одоо
5.
улсын иргэний нисхийн хууль дүрмийн дагуу зорчигчд
Flaps
нь
5.
анхааруулах гэрлэн дотоо зурагт хуудас болон багийн гишүүдийн зааварчилгааг дагж мөрдөх үүрэгтэй.
International civil aviation
and taxi.
regulations require that all passengers comply with the illuminated information signs,
Alright, so we're gonna
posted
taxi out here
placards,
and turn
instruction
right
of the
on the Tango.
Та бүхэн энэ талаарх дэлгэрэнгүй мэдээлэлтэй таны урт суудлын халаасанд байх аюулгүйн зааварчилгааны хуудастай агаарын хөлөг хөрөхөөс өмнө тодорхой танилцсан уу?
For detailed information on our cabin safety briefing, please read and review the safety information card located in your seat pocket in front of you.
Та бүхэн хөөрхөд суудлын бичлэгээ эцэж хэрэг явах цонхны хаалт суудлын бүсээ бүсэлсэн
To prepare for takeoff, please put your seat back to the upright position. Stow away your tray table, open your window shades, and fasten your seatbelt. Thank you for your attention and enjoy your flight.
Request taxi. Lufthansa Cargo 8387 Heavy. Taxi to holding point runway 16 right by Whiskey 3 Alpha 2. Taxi to holding point runway 16 right by Whiskey 3 Alpha 2. Lufthansa Cargo 8387 Heavy.
Alright, taking Tango down to Romeo. They'll be turning left. Oh, rather right. Right, and then we'll go down to Whiskey 6 and hop over to Alpha. Take Alpha all the way down to Alpha 1 and the runway. I have to say, FS HUD ATC has been operating the planes a lot better than in recent in the past month. It's been like this now, where planes seem to taxi better. They actually follow their instructions. It seems like there's a lot more actually going on at these airports. So the traffic injection and FS HUD is working really nice together. And then the planes are taking off and landing, and not just cruising over the ground at high speeds, but actually taking off and landing and doing go around and stuff. So it looks actually really good. Well, if you're looking for a solution and you just can't wait for Beyond ATC, FS HUD is a good option. I would suggest waiting for Beyond. I'm not throwing any shade toward FS HUD ATC, but since Beyond ATC is coming out, it's probably going to cost what, $40. Might as well save the money on getting FS HUD ATC and wait for Beyond ATC to come out this next year. They're going to have traffic injection and the control, you know, the controlling the stuff, and of course the better ATC, even better than this. So every once in a while, though, we get some issues where they have us taking off one runway and they're landing the opposite direction on the same runway, or they taxi a plane on the runway for some reason. It's not perfect. I don't think it ever will be with AI. Well, I think at some point it will be a lot better. It's just going to get better and better. But I'm really looking forward to Beyond ATC. Big thing I'm looking forward to is they talked about how now they're going to do the traffic injection. They're working with FSLT, like one of the guys from FSLTL, to pull that, you know, basically the traffic injection. That's how I'm getting all these planes into the sim, is through FSLTL. Pulls stuff from Flight Radar 24, plugs it into the sim, and then FS HUD ATC takes over controlling the planes, moving them about the airport and in the air, giving them instructions and all that. Well, Beyond ATC is going to do that all in one self-contained program, and they're claiming that they're going to be able to do all that and not have as much of an impact on your frame rate. Beautiful takeoff there by Lufthansa. Lufthansa Heavy cargo. 8387 Heavy, that plane. Really nice to see. It's actually getting pretty fun, like lately with some of these airports we've been at. It's been pretty nice to actually be taxiing around because there's other planes taxiing and there's planes taking off, and so pretty enjoyable to see the planes. This star's now way behind us, so took a while to make his turns. All right, coming up on Whiskey 6, the next left turn, hop over to Alpha and down to runway. We're headed into the cargo area on the Pond Air cargo right in front of us. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to the traffic injection and all the stuff that Beyond ATC, if they can deliver on the promise with Beyond ATC, not just of having really good sounding ATC and a little bit more interactive, but also having a lighter weight traffic injection and control program. That's going to be, it's going to be a game changer. I think if they're able to achieve it, I think Beyond ATC is going to be well worth the $40 or whatever they charge. And it's going to blow out the competition. It's just going to destroy everything else. And I think it's like anything with like Alpha India Group traffic injection, kind of gone by the wayside. I don't know how many people are still using it. I still have a link for it. I don't know if you can even download it anymore, if it's defunct. There's part of, I do kind of want to use it. I haven't gotten it set up again, but it would help when we're in different time zones. Because even live time flying, you're flying in the middle of the night, live time, you're probably not going to have as many planes. And especially if you want to switch it to daytime, and like we are right now, your airport's going to look pretty empty. Now, luckily, we do actually have a bunch going on. We got J Spring 840. I don't know what J Spring is. I don't think we went over far enough, to be honest. We went down the Romeo to Whiskey. We didn't get all the way over to Alpha. Read my map wrong. Now we're on Alpha. If we kept going straight, we would have been in a world of hurt. It's interesting, this entrance isn't even on the exit and entrance isn't even on the map. Not on the chart, but it is on the Navigraphs, like the map, not the chart itself. I don't know if that's new. Before takeoff checklist, flaps 5, green light, stabilizer trim, 5.51, checklist, turning at Alpha 2.
Juliet Uniform 1015, contact Narita Tower 118.2. 118.2, Juliet Uniform 1015. Narita Tower, Juliet Uniform 1015, runway 16 right, ready for departure.
Juliet Uniform 1015, line up runway 16 right.
Line up runway 16 right, Juliet Uniform 1015.
Clear right, clear left. Alright, so we're gonna have a long one. 16. Probably by the time we finish at 1,700 miles for our flight today. So, once we get in there, I'll kind of talk a little bit more on it.
Runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Juliet Uniform 1015.
Positive rate of climb.
You're up.
Juliet Uniform 1015, contact Tokyo departure 127.5.
127.5, Juliet Uniform 1015. Tokyo departure, Juliet Uniform 1015, sacrifice departure at 2,200, climbing 4,000. Juliet Uniform 1015, contact Tokyo Center, 125.9. 125.9, Juliet Uniform 1015.
Cabin crew, resume duties.
Heavy. Air China 183, continue descent 3000. Continue descent 3000, Air China 183.
Autopilot engaged.
Tokyo Center, Juliet Uniform 1015, sacrifice departure at 3,100, climbing 4,000. Japan Air 526, heavy, fly heading 315, cleared AOS, approach at 3,000, runway 16 right, report established on localizer.
Fly heading 315, cleared AOS, approach at 3,000.
Tokyo's over here on our right.
Established on localizer, Japan Air 526, heavy.
Juliet Uniform 1015, radar contact, continue climb, flight level 330.
330.
Continue climb, flight level 330, Juliet Uniform 1015. On Nippon 476, heavy, turn left heading
Alright, well,
210.
plan for 320 and 330, so we'll adjust that.
On Nippon 558, heavy, turn right heading 155. Right heading 155, on Nippon 558, heavy. Japan Air 138, heavy, continue descent 6,000.
Continue descent 6,000, Japan Air 138, heavy.
Japan Air 904, fly heading 250. Fly heading 250, Japan Air 904. 536, clear Bravo India November, Kilo Sierra November, arrival.
Clear Bravo India November, Kilo Sierra November, arrival, air pitch 536.
On Nippon 558, heavy, proceed direct now, descend 3,000. Proceed direct Nazi, descend 3,000, on Nippon 558, heavy. Air China 183, fly heading 250. Fly heading 250, Air China 183.
Japan Air 526, heavy, established on local.
Alright, so as we climb out, you can see
On Nippon
The time remaining, that will kind of adjust quickly, but yeah, you can see it's dipping quicker and quicker as we get.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelts fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each
do our
end of the
safety call out
cabin.
here.
Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. All details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly. Thank you.
Left heading 210, destination 904. Air 243, radar contact. Continue climb flight level on 50. Continue climb flight level on 50, Air 243. Jetman 904, fly heading 210, clear AOS, approach at 3000, runway 16 right, report established on localizer. Fly heading 210, clear AOS, approach at 3000, runway 16 right, report established on localizer, destination 904.
Runway 476, heavy, established on localizer.
Jetman 526, heavy, contact Tokyo Tower, 118.1.
118.1, Japan 526, heavy.
On Nippon 476, heavy, continue approach.
Continue approach, runway 476, heavy.
Air China 183, turn left heading 210. Left heading 210, Air China 183. Tokyo Center, Japan 74, heavy, route 2, departure at 3,600.
Alright, you can already see it's down to 4 hours, so I was planning on this taking like 6 hours or so. And the landing lights off.
Fly heading 210, cleared ALS, approach at 3000, runway 16 right, report established on localizer, Air China 183.
After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds on, packs, auto, landing gear up and off, flaps up, no lights. Checklist complete.
Continue flight 6000, Japan 74, heavy.
Alright, so if you guys stopped in last night, I was going to attempt to fly, I was attempting to fly from JFK, New York, JFK to Beijing capital in the Boeing 748 for Air China. That flight could have been anywhere between 13 to 16 hours flight time. And got everything going, got everything ready, pulled everything in from SimBrief into the FMC. No problem there, and for some reason it didn't want to take the flight plan from the FMC and actually put it up here and actually put it into the plane. I mean, it was here in the FMC, you could look at the legs and all that, but it would not work here. So if I set autopilot, it was basically useless. We were just going to fly in a straight line, whichever heading I set it on. And so I said, okay, well, enough of that, we're not going to do it. But I was going to attempt to fly overnight. The longest 748 flight I could find, actually. But it didn't work. I canceled that. But my plan was that we were probably going to come in here in the morning and still have a few hours to go, land in Beijing, and then start up this flight, and then probably let this flight run real time, and I'd go and do other things during the day. But now looking at this flight's probably going to take around, I'm all said and done, probably 4.5 hours to get back on the ground from where we're at now. And that means we'll be getting done around noon my time. I'll probably do some time acceleration, whether it's 2 times or 4 times, because my wife already has a plan. She's like, hey, we should go to the museum. I'm like, okay. Alright, so we are right now. Why is it running so poorly? I mean, I get we're flying over a city, but
Continue climb flight level 330.
it's not like I have some city pack or something, right? Oh, okay, we are flying. We're kind of flying back into Tokyo. So, oh, okay. I didn't even look and see where we're flying, but yeah, we're gonna. Right now, you're looking off to our left towards Chiba. Get my proper map. Places. Looking down into Tokyo Bay right now, and into Tokyo. So that's why we're actually flying really close to the center of Tokyo. Pretty cool. There you go. That's why we're having good frame rates, because flying over the biggest city in the world, and man, it looks beautiful from up here, doesn't it? Love it. Charaya. Hello? Welcome in. Yeah, I was a little disappointed when kind of planning out these flights that the flights were going to go into Narita and not into Haneda. Because it'd be cool to do that approach or fly over Tokyo, but here we are flying over Tokyo. During the day we can see it would have been really nice flying over if we were coming in the night too. You can see the downtown, the core right there. That's the hardtail.
Jetman 138 heavy, turn left heading 210.
Left heading 210, Jetman 138 heavy.
It's just amazing. I mean, it just goes forever. City after city, or no end in sight. And it's not like I've not been to a city this big either, or, big like this. I went to Shanghai regularly. I lived, when I lived in China, I lived in Hangzhou, and for a number of years, and Hangzhou is 10 million people. And most people don't know about it because it's not even one of the, it's, I think, probably the 9th, 10th biggest city in China. It's dwarfed by Shanghai. So everyone knows Shanghai, but just down, a couple hours away is Hangzhou, and another 10 million people. And when I lived there, it didn't feel like that either. It just didn't, I guess it was, if you really thought about it, but it just fit. The nice thing is that Tokyo goes up really nice here in the sim. Unfortunately, Shanghai doesn't look as nice, or Hangzhou. Maybe from way up high, but definitely not low. You can see, yeah. So it's probably a good thing that we landed and took off out of Narita and not out of Haneda, because it probably would have been a hard approach. Similar to our trying to move about and take off out of New York last night, it was pretty tricky. Beautiful.
Jetman 638, continue descent 3000.
Continue descent 3000, Jetman 638.
And if I'm right about my mountains, that's Mount Fiji over there. Football fan, welcome in. Raya is from Thailand. Where are you from in Thailand? I wish I didn't pick up enough Thai when I was when we were there a few years back. 5 years ago now, we went to Thailand. I went to Koh Lipe, just off in on the west side of Thailand, off in the Indian Ocean, right near the Malaysian border. Oh, we flew into Bangkok. We flew into the we flew into the international airport, which is let me butcher the names. Phuket. Yeah, we didn't go to Phuket.
Continue descent 2000. Continue descent 2000 on the time 966 heavy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Phuket's pretty close. I mean, relatively close to where we were. We were in let's say it's part of. Is it part of Satun? Yeah. We were down in Satun, and then Koh Lipe is off in the Andaman Sea. Oh, to your south. We flew into Bangkok, flew into Suvar, Nabumi International, and then we got to a hotel. I can't remember how we got to the hotel because it was a red-eye flight, so we must have taken a taxi, I'm guessing. And then from there, the next day we went up to Dang Muang, flew out on Hai Lion, took that down to airport. Here you go. In the Satun? I don't think we flew in the Satun. Yeah, we flew to Hat Yai International, and then we, from there, took a van through the countryside over to, I'm gonna say, kind of hard to remember because I didn't write it all down, but well, somewhere over there on the west coast, and then I took a speedboat out to kind of a speedboat ferry kind of thing out to Koh Lipe. Really fun. I'm hoping at some point we can go back and go to Phuket. Go see more of Thailand. Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh wow, we got Cristiano in here. Welcome in. Just departed Tokyo. See, it's still eating the frame rates as we fly into the Japanese countryside. Tokyo spreading out behind us. Beautiful departure out of Narita today. And how so? How can you be part of the video? What are you thinking?
Left heading 260, Skymark 024. Japan 266, heavy, continue descent.
Well, you're a part of the video. You're part of the video by commenting and chatting, so go for it. I was just talking to Raya about Thailand because she's from Thailand, a beautiful country. I lived in China for 9 years and didn't do a ton of traveling. I mean, we did some traveling when we were in China. I mean, I started out in Beijing and then I lived down in the Shanghai, Hangzhou area for most of that 9 years. well, all that 9 years, but did go to Beijing a couple times. Started out in Beijing, so did all the Beijing stuff the first time, and then went there again with my parents. Yep, definitely got football fan up there. But yes, 9 years in China, and unfortunately, I kind of wish we had done some more travel, because when I was in China, had all kinds of time, not a lot of obligations outside of my job, but financial obligations, so there was more time and money to do things, and we only went to Thailand the last year, and kind of didn't take advantage of living over there in that area and be able to go to all the different places in the area. But in the future, my hope is to get back over there and go to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, or China. Granted, I did sit in the airport in Incheon in South Korea, so I've been there technically. We got a lot of activity on the radio right now. Obviously, coming out of Tokyo, so we got a lot of planes coming in. Singapore, All Nippon, Japan Air. Slowly climbing up to flight level 330, 33,000 feet. Actually, forgot to switch ourselves to our standard pressure. Alright, while we're on our climb out, we're doing really good. I'm going to put in the landing elevation for Chinggis Khan in Mongolia. It's going to be quite different from where we're at now. So do it before we get too far along, and we're waiting. Could I win the next World Cup? Well, I don't really have control over that. This is probably the highest elevation I put in while we're flying in the 737, which is very easy to do in this plane. I've actually flown at higher elevations in the CRJ, and that's kind of a pain in the butt to set that elevation. Alright, so we got our landing elevation, 4,485 feet for Chinggis Khan in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Planning on runway 11. We got 11,811 feet, 3,600 meter runway up there, and we'll be arriving in about 3.5 hours? 3.5 hours or so. And I'm debating if I'm going to just let it run in real time, or if we'll do a little time acceleration. We'll see. Probably do some time acceleration when we're over the water at least.
Left heading 300 on Nippon 966 heavy.
Velocity 78, radar contact. Continue climb 6.
Now the big thing with Japan, I don't know if it's because it's so mountainous, it has so many distinct mountains, is that if you look at the map, I'm looking at Valanta and looking at the kind of the map from Mapbox, and it's just all Mount Utsugi, Mount Kusumu, Mount, and it's like, okay, I can't even tell what cities are what, because it's all just mounts. I think right down there is Komagane, butchering the Japanese, I know. But that's what's down there. I love this landscape though. And again, it reminds me, where I lived in China was very similar, where once you get out of Shanghai and Hangzhou, which is kind of the delta, kind of the low-lying sea level area, it then gets into mountain range. You get into mountains and you have these, basically, this is kind of where I lived, was this. You had mountains both sides, you had a river, and then the city was kind of straddling the river, and it was just like that. And when we're flying, I think when we do our flight from, Shanghai down to Macau, we'll actually fly right over where I lived in China. because it's one of the air routes.
558 heavy, continue approach.
And I kind of miss it. Now my wife loves it here in America because she especially loved it when I was driving over the road and we would drive through like Iowa and it was all just farms and you could see for miles. I love that too, where you can see for miles. And I actually like Iowa for that because there are rolling hills though. There is some landscape. You get out to like a Kansas or a Nebraska and then it's really dull. But it's a difference. I mean. The amazing thing where it's like you can go one place in the world, some places you got the mountains and it's one kind of thing, and then you go somewhere else and you have just the endless sight line because it is flat or slight gradual rolling hill. So really beautiful flying over Khaan right now. What is that over there? That is I'm kind of guessing, but yeah, that's Matsumoto. I actually have I believe I have a freeware upgrades the airport there, which is pretty cool. At some point, we're gonna have to do some flights between these Japanese airports because there's a number of great Japanese freeware content creators. Cristiano. Ronaldo, who's better, me or Messi? I always thought it was, for the longest time, I only knew of you, Ronaldo. You were the bigger name for a long time. Thanks for the subscription. Yeah, I don't know if it's an age thing, if if he's like I don't. To be honest, I don't follow football, or what we call here in America soccer, terribly closely. So I did have FIFA 19 or something, and it was fun. I mean, it'd be cool. I mean, that's kind of how I have to get into it. Is I'd have to get like something like that and kind of learn that way, and then I'd be more into it. Kind of just an exposure thing. But that was always fun. Playing that, and I recognize some of the names, especially as they're coming over here and playing now in America and in a Major League Soccer in MLS. Now we have Messi over there down in Miami. Abrahamovich? Probably getting his name wrong, but he used to be with Manchester United, I think, and now he's over. At least last time I was paying attention was with the Galaxy, I think, LA Galaxy. So. And I think that's a big thing happening in America is that you're starting to get some more exposure. We're starting to get some more exposure to football, and it's such a different thing. And kind of wrapping our heads around it, for me, it's like that's why something like FIFA or any game, like a video game version of it, where I can learn the different teams in the leagues and how it works, like relegation and all that. It's so fascinating because it's so different than any of our leagues here, and kind of how there's so much more movement also. It always seems strange to me when I see guys, they're playing in the Premier League and then they're playing in their national league in their own nation, and then they're coming to the U.S. and I'm thinking, for the longest time I always thought, why would they come over to the U.S.? The U.S. like these are big names coming over now. Why would they come here? Because again, it makes sense when big names come over with baseball, because Major League Baseball is the top league for baseball in the world, and baseball's played a lot of places in the world. The NBA is the biggest league in the world because basketball, while it's growing around the world, still biggest is America. Obviously the National Football League, the NFL, American football. I mean, the only real major league is the NFL. There are, I know there's obviously the Canadian Football League, and there's, I think there's a German Football League now. But then with soccer, with football, the world sport, or cricket or rugby, it's so foreign to us here in America, and the way it's operated is so much different too, because usually I think even with cricket and rugby leagues, there's a lot of relegation, there's lots of levels. Whereas here in America we have baseball, right? Or take the NFL we'll take the NFL for example, American football. It's one level. There's only one level. And then we have, and back there is Takayama. And we're still, frame rate there, it still seems a little choppy, despite the frame rate supposedly being okay. Oh. But we have, so with American football, you have the NFL, National Football League. That's the pros, that's the professionals, that's the top league. Now, there's been various competitor leagues or leagues trying to get started to be maybe a second level or a direct competition to the NFL. You had the USFL during the 80s, which famously Donald Trump kind of ran into the ground. Or at least that's the legend. I haven't looked into it.
704,
you had the AFL back in the 60s, which eventually merged with the NFL. They joined forces, and that was kind of what Trump wanted to do. He wanted to kind of get the USFL to the point where it would kind of force a combination with the NFL, become part of it. I think you had the XFL, and we have the XFL. I think we're on the third or fourth iteration of the XFL. You have the second iteration of the USFL now, and both of them have been actually kind of successful the last couple of years. And I think what they're doing is smart. They're staying as a spring league. That's what the USFL was originally. So they're the spring league, so they're not directly competing with the NFL. And they're clearly kind of almost like a minor league. They're a tier down, right? These are guys who didn't make it in the NFL. But guys from these like the XFL and the USFL are now getting called up to the NFL. They're getting contracts into NFL team. And so it's we're starting to develop kind of that system that you have in a lot of places with football and rugby and cricket and all these more worldwide sports.
From the cockpit. I hope all is well.
But it's something that still doesn't really exist in America.
We've reached our cruising
I
flight
think
level.
the closest thing we have is the minor league baseball.
Very well. You'll hear from me again once we're about to start our descent. Thank you.
And the closest thing we have is probably minor league baseball. And again, minor league baseball, there's no relegation. It's you're the lowest level team. You're a mid-level team like AA, and then you have AAA, which is the highest level, and then you have Major League Baseball. And all those players on those teams are part of the parent organization, and they're younger guys that then go through their system on these teams. Where, again, the part that blows me away with like soccer and relegation is that you have a team that can be in the Premier League, and then I think it's the two worst teams, they end up in the next tier down, and you could really quickly in a few years go from the top league all the way to the bottom league. And your players don't like wholesale change. Now I would figure if you have a star player like Ronaldo on your team and then you get relegated down, Ronaldo's probably gonna, I don't know how that works, would probably want to be released from his contract and sign with another team, right? But it blows me away that, it's such a different thing than in America, where as a player, you're working your way up through the leagues. The teams are kind of permanent. Versus with soccer, you're working your way up through the levels, but your teams are working through the levels. And so you kind of, some of these guys, I would figure some of these guys, they could be in the top tier, and if they're not like a huge name, they could end up in a lower tier on the same team and then have to, I guess, work their way back up to getting signed by a different Premier League team or something, or whatever it is. So that's where it's such a different thing from what we're used to here in America. All right, you can see the sea coming up. The East Sea, or the Sea of Japan, cross over to South Korea. our last kind of, well, it's not gonna be our last view of Japan, but here we are flying. What city is this? Right now flying over Fukui. Alright, so let's get the so here's Navigraphs and here's our flight. Obviously Japan, South Korea, China and Mongolia. Right now you can see different ATC areas. Obviously Mongolia it's its own. China's got multiple. Japan's got only one area, same with Korea. And you can see our flight route looks a little strange. Well, why not just kind of go straight over? Well, you got North Korea. Probably. I don't know how many flights actually fly over North Korea, if any. Going up this way to go around and avoid North Korea is, I would think, is probably a longer flight. Plus, you have to then go over Russia, which means you're paying a little, that fee. Every country you pass over on an international flight, you're paying a fee. Oh my goodness, look at all these different, look at our TCAS here, look at all the different planes. We got 4 different planes popping up. Got some traffic in this area. We're still following, we still got that Lufthansa cargo. Pretty cool. Wonder if that is the Lufthansa. One of these are the Lufthansa cargos. But that was that one, that 8387 Heavy that we saw taking off. Still, I guess we're still over Tokyo Center. So we're hearing calls. I mean, might not even be near us at all. So back into that route. So you can see that route. So every country you fly over, you have to have an agreement. And basically, I think every country charges a fee to the airlines for every flight that flies through their territory or over their territory. I don't know if it's a flat fee or if it's based on mileage. I would figure the flat fee would be the easiest, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So you'll typically see routes. That's why some routes look kind of strange. Well, why are they flying this way? Well, because they're avoiding that little tip of a country that might be sticking out. So they kind of make this a weird course just to go around that, so they stay within over one country as opposed to crossing into another airspace. So that's what's happening with this flight. Is instead of going up and around North Korea, or obviously just over North Korea, we're going over South Korea and China. We're only going over 2 countries besides our arrival country and departure country. So we have 4 countries in total. Now, if we were going over, obviously if we were going over Russia, it'd be the same. We're going over 4 countries, but I think that'd probably be a longer flight, and they just don't want to take us over North Korea. Another part of this weird kind of route is once you hit China, China has some weird routing. And you can see there, even here I'm zooming in, you can see the routes, the airways, and there's not a lot of them. You see how they're kind of concentrated in certain areas. And in most cases, you're only allowed to fly on the airway. See how many more airways even this area has. But you see there's just kind of routing, and that's why I was saying, like, I lived in here, and it's right over an air route. That right there. Right over an airway where I lived. I lived right in there. And so all the planes were coming right through here because they couldn't fly anywhere else. They're not allowed. It's very strict. You must be on, in China basically you have to be on the airways. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. You can see we're on the airways, and we're on an airway. It's very strict kind of routing. Where really it would make more sense just go right here. Again, we're avoiding that airspace, so we'll probably come over here, but then wouldn't it just make sense to kind of go right up? Now, partly we avoid going into another another ATC area, also part of that. Yeah, very strict following the airways on our route, and yeah, nothing really direct. Hey, Falling YT. That's what's going on there. We're now over the, what do I call this? The Sea of Japan, East Sea, headed towards South Korea. And we're going to come in at Pohang-si and then go northwest over to Incheon, Seoul. And back over. Once we get into China, we're gonna come over Rongcheng and Wangdong. Fly right into Beijing. We're gonna fly over Beijing. So we got to fly over Tokyo. We're gonna fly over Beijing as well, which will be really cool. See how it looks. And then up from there into Mongolia. We do have some weather over South Korea, actually some severe weather, it looks like. In reality, we'd probably get rerouted around this. We'd probably reroute to the south of the way the weather's looking, probably down to Busan. The problem is that we don't have weather radar available, at least in this plane. If we were in the fly-by-wire, I think we have weather radar now, which is pretty cool. Kind of messed up. We do have a little bit of weather also in the Beijing area, so we are probably going to experience some weather. We might be flying over it, so didn't have too much. I might have a little turbulence, but we'll adjust if we have to. If it's really bad, we'll do a kind of a diversion, a route change. It'd be kind of cool. I miss Seoul though, but. Yeah, it's actually a really cool flight. Now I'm thinking about it. We fly over Tokyo, we fly over Seoul, fly over Beijing, and then fly into Ulaanbaatar. We're flying 4 capitals, right over 4 capitals of the 4 countries are flying, and significantly big cities too, not just little things like a lot of this world tour has been. Falling YT's playing War Thunder, awesome. Yeah, I got every once in a while I'll get really into War Thunder, and I will at least do 1 or 2 battles every day and get the. And I did that for a while. I think I had a good year streak once. Again, kind of the time issue. Do I have time to do that, or is there something better I should be doing? Taria was born in Michigan, but was adopted by a Thai mom, and she paid for my flights from Los Angeles to Bangkok via Singapore. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I'm just looking, I'm reading the ATC log here, and it was like, proceed Chile Air Seoul 704. Like, what is Chile Air? Which airline is that? But I see, proceed direct to Chile, the waypoint, Air Seoul 704. What is Air Seoul? Oh, I was thinking, is that North Korean? No, Air Seoul. Seoul is South Korea. I'm thinking Air Koryo, which is North Korea's airline, which doesn't really fly anywhere. We are going to be flying international flight with Air Koryo. We're going to be flying from Pyongyang to Shanghai using that airline. There is no real life flight. That's not a real life flight, but as we're doing the world tour, we're trying to keep it as realistic as possible, but sometimes we have to make up a flight, and There is someone luckily made a livery. Back when I was doing this in X-Plane, I had to make my own Air Koryo livery. I think it turned out okay for it being my first ever livery. A few of the lines were off, but I think I got a little bit better. I did 3 liveries. That's all I've ever done. Don't ask me to make any more. I don't have time to learn how to do it here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I just don't have time in general anymore. So let's see. What's Air Seoul? Air Seoul. They Seoul, it's Seoul like this. Air Seoul is low-cost airline for South Korea. Cool. Subsidiary of Asiana Airlines. And Asiana Airlines at this point is owned by Korean Air, isn't it? So, last I heard. Only an 8-year-old airline, Air Seoul. Cool. Getting all off topic here. Looking at airlines now. Looking at Asiana Airline. Because oh, we were talking about Air Seoul, and that's a subsidiary of Asiana, which is being acquired by Korean Air. I think they're still dealing with some... They're delaying the merger, though, because of they need to get antitrust approval from the government and 6 other countries: China, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, United States, and Vietnam. Korean Air will operate Asiana Airlines as a subsidiary for the next 2 years. That's why it hasn't completely disappeared yet. Once the merger is complete, Asiana Airlines could become a member of SkyTeam. So I wonder if they're still going to have the 2 brands, though, because it sounded like they'll operate as separate brands until the merger is complete. Okay, I started hearing airplane noises, a jet noise, and I thought, oh man, one of these planes near us is getting close, but no. So we got 4, yeah, we're just all kind of in a clump here. I think this means they're 1,500 feet above us. This means they're 1,500 feet below us. Really cool if I could see them. The visual. Close enough to show up on TCAS, but I'm not seeing them. Now, if they were closer, we would see them. Not seeing them. Doesn't mean they're not there. That's the cool thing, is that if we could find them, we could like zoom in on them and they are there. I don't know, but that's really cool. Actually, I can't see. I wonder if they're all flying over to Seoul. We're on that same route. That's why we're kind of all in a clump, because we're all kind of headed towards the same area. That's actually really cool, but I don't see them. Usually you'll see them, but that's really cool. I've never had it where I've just got planes kind of. Yeah, they're okay. They're a little bit over there. 20. Still cool. Still very cool. Yeah, so I don't know what the status of this Korean Air Asiana merger is because the United States has blocked that, citing monopoly concerns. But yeah, that's kind of interesting that Asiana Airlines is part of Star Alliance, while Korean Air is actually a founding airline with the rival SkyTeam Alliance. So kind of that, which kind of makes sense at the same time because they are kind of rival airlines. Very interesting. I remember when I first heard, because I flew Asiana a few times over to China, and I really liked it. I never flew Korean Air, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, probably guess it, but it kind of sucks because when you get these mergers, you lose an airline identity. You lose a specific airline identity, like an Asiana, which has its own cool, its color scheme, its livery scheme. And I would hate it just as much if it was the other way around, because like, let's say Asiana was acquiring Korean Air and you're not going to have those really cool blue Korean Air planes anymore. That would suck. I mean,
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Would you like some food?
Yes, I'll have a snack, please.
Of course. Just give me a couple of minutes and I'll bring it for you.
Hello.
Sorry to bother you, Captain. I was just wondering if you'd like a drink.
No, thank you.
No problem. Give me a call if you change your mind.
Airsort 704, proceed direct cabin, then and file. Proceed direct, Kilo Alpha, ASO 704. Cargo A387 Heavy. Proceed direct cabin, then and file. Proceed direct Kilo Alpha. Lufthansa Cargo A387 Heavy.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. As you've probably noticed, we've started our descent. We should be arriving in around 20 minutes depending on local air traffic, and I will shortly be instructing the cabin crew to get the cabin ready for our arrival. Once that happens, the seatbelt sign will be illuminated and you will be required to stay seated and secured until after landing. If you need to visit the toilet, it may be worth making your way towards one now. For now though, I will wish you a very good afternoon once again, and I'll speak to you in a short while once we've landed.
Okay, I don't know what just happened there. I went to, I don't know what I did. Because I went to the drone camera and I started putting the drone commands and suddenly just flipped the plane out. So, I don't know what I did. I did something wrong. Oops. Scared the crap out of the passengers. Work our way back up to the cruise and oy, oy, oy. I have no idea what happened there. Alright, well, I literally just, I went to the drone camera and I just wanted to, I don't know what I did. The wrong button. Just wanted to turn around and look back at Seoul. Almost crashed the plane. I'm having a great day flying. Yesterday we had all kinds of issues. Today, almost crashed the plane. I'm going to the camera.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. How are things? All good?
Everything is absolutely fine, yes. Thanks for asking.
Just give me a buzz if you need anything.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Just checking to see if everything is okay.
Yes, everything is fine. Thanks for asking.
Give me a call if you need anything else.
Lima, proceed direct Hotel Uniform Romeo, Romeo 5. Proceed direct Hotel Uniform Romeo 8039. Proceed direct India November Kilo India Victor, Charlene Air 8039.
Mama. Mama. No. No. Subscribe. Mama.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. How are things? All good?
Yes, everything is fine. Thanks for asking.
Call me if you need anything.
Alright, we got about half an hour before top of descent, so we're going to let the passengers know, and we'll hopefully be able to let the crew know. Well, maybe not. Maybe I won't be able to because it already thought we were in descent. Yeah, it's still it thinks we're in a descent here because of that whole whatever happened. Whatever happened midway through the flight where we suddenly were diving and dipping and weaving and doing all kinds of goofy stuff.
Hello, Captain.
Alright, I guess I'm not going to be able to tell them. Oh well. We're already dinged really bad on this flight anyway.
Captain.
Well, never mind then. Alright, we'll speed up here and we'll get to that top of descent.
Give me a call if you need anything else.
For Mongolia, it looks like we're really low, doesn't it? But that's because, you know, we're probably only 28,000 feet above ground level now. And there's nothing to give us really any perspective. It's so flat and but definitely beautiful. Alright, we got our clearance. I was going 4 times speed. So when you're going 4 times speed, when you're using time acceleration, the ATC doesn't, can't hear it. You can only see the messages. So, got our clearance. Let's see how bad they gave us. Oh, that's right. They're giving us, they're expecting us for a whole different airport. That's why. So never mind. We're just going to go in to Ulaanbaatar on our own because we're going to Zulu Mike Charlie Kilo, which is... Let me actually look at this. I think this is the new... I mean, I know it's the new airport. How new... Alright, so Chinggis Khaan International Airport opened 4 years ago. July 20... Or, I can't read. Opened July 4th, 2021. 2 years ago. Alright, the new airport was given its current name on July 2nd, 2020, with the former Chinggis Khaan International Airport reverting to its pre-2005 name of Ulaanbaatar International Airport. So, yeah, so the only, for some reason, and that's a ZMUB, that's a Zulu Mike Uniform Bravo. So that's the airport I probably flew to when I did it in X-Plane. I probably flew to that one, and then this one has since opened, and not everything has it updated. So, my air traffic control is going to be giving me stuff for the wrong airport because it doesn't recognize this airport. Yeah, Ulaanbaatar, the original, I mean, what was Chinggis Khaan International was located right in Ulaanbaatar, but now has been replaced by the new airport. Hey, the new airport has two. Yeah, so the old airport back in 2019 had 1.6 million passengers passing through. I don't know when these stats are from. 2022 they had just under 1 million for the new airport. But again, that's 2022. Obviously, you know what happened in 2020, 2021, 2022. We've been kind of everything's been changed a little bit, so not a great launch for the airport, but that's primarily due to outside factors. Today we got 19 minutes go. Close. So since we only have so much time on this, and that we'll have the ATC control the other planes, but we're not really going to take any instruction from them because we're not landing at that other airport. I suppose we could, but we're not going to. Let's bring up the chart. Here's our arrival, Torov to Victor. It's going to take us into the RNAV arrivals for runway 11. Torov, we're going to go 307 degrees to Charlie Kilo 033, then a slight adjustment 306 degrees to Charlie Kilo 113. This is our initial approach fix. Our transition into the arrival need to be above 8,860 feet, which is about 4,000 feet off of the ground. It seems like a high number, but that's actually right where we'd be at that point. So we're going to begin our descent around here just past the end of the chart, and we're going to come in. We do have a few points of elevation we need to keep an eye on. You can also see on this part of this side of the airport, we need to be above 8,900 feet, and then over here we need to be above 79. Over here we have 9,900 for our minimum elevations, different mountains and stuff. We're getting a few mountains already off in the distance. Into our approach plate, the RNP runway 11. Final approach course is 110 nautical, or 110 nautical, 110 degrees. I'm going to put that into my course right here. 110 for this one. We do have a VOR. I don't think. Oh, don't need any radials for the VOR, so we'll just put the course 110 into both of them. Right on the runway to runway heading is back. All right, so at checkpoint Charlie Kilo 111, we need to be at the 6,890 feet. That's right here. So we're already going to be ascending a little bit, but leveling out 6890 then on our glide slope. Minimum for
015. Descend flight level 130. Descend flight level 130. Juliet uniform 1015.
Turn that off. We're not going to be following ATC instructions because ATC doesn't know that this airport is. And so they're directing us to a different airport, and it's just going to get confusing. So we're looking here at the airport elevation, 4,485 feet, runway same. We already have that in for our landing pressure. We got 4,500. Missed approach, we're going to climb direct to Charlie Kilo 101, turn right direct to Charlie Kilo 299, and hold at 8,860 feet. Again, refer to minimums for missed approach climb gradients. Transition level is flight level 118. Transition altitude is 9,850 feet. And then if our hectopascals is 1031 or above, then we're at 10,830 feet for that transition altitude for the local pressure. I'm not sure why it's 9850. I think that might be wondering if that's because it would otherwise be in meters. Right there you can see millimeter. Yeah, so I think everything might be in meters. We don't have that option, I don't think, to go to meters, at least with our pressure there. We can't really do that. I don't think we can do meters though. So there you go. Yeah, 10,058 meters. We'll turn that on and we'll kind of see, because I think at 9,850 I might be like a round number. Okay. So I just went over here and I just hit meters. All right, continuing on down. We got our visual here. Come in. Fixed point, 19 degrees, and then 109, 110. Charlie Kilo 111, that's where we need to be, 1,890, and then begin our glide in, 3-degree glide. And our minimums, using the LNAV, we're going to be using the LNAV. For what I'm looking. Growth climb grading. Oh, I guess depending on what your minimum climb out rate is, I suppose. That's what it looks like. Let's go with this one, just be safe. I think we could do that one. We'll go 5250. I don't know my climb grade. I'm sure we can do that 3%, no problem. Minimum 3%. Yeah, I have no idea. Alright, so in here, Barrow. Actually, we'll do the radio for this.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. I just wanted to come by and ask if everything was going okay.
Thanks for asking. Everything is going great.
Great. Give me a call if you need anything else.
The radio, we're looking at that smaller number, that's 765. That's just above ground level, whereas the other one is actual. All right. On the top of descent, we're gonna put in 8,860 for our altitude, and it should take us down automatically. The 800 put in our first point, first minimum. Okay, right there. I look at my chart. So right there, you got 10,830 feet. That's 3,300 meters. That 9,850. So that's why well, it's all go by meters. 9,850 is 3,000 meters above elevation or altitude. That's where they're getting these different kind of numbers. I don't think there's a way for me, there's no way for me to change this to meters, so I have to do 26. I'm looking for 2,700. We're at 2,682. I'm gonna go for the descent, but works either way. Sun is starting to set. That starting to set. Fly over Mongolia. On the world tour. Next flight will be flying down back to Beijing. Just flew through, I believe. Not a long flight, next one. Only an hour, just under 2 hours back to Beijing, then over to Pyongyang, North Korea, then down to Shanghai, and then down to Macau. We aren't doing, I've never done a cross country, well I have, but not on the stream. We're not doing anything cross country across China, even though that it is a beautiful flight. And there are some, at some point I will be doing some flights in China, especially there's a few airports that are like the highest elevation airports in the world, like they're 10,000 feet above sea level. And just need to figure out which plane and how to do that, because I think I tried taking off on one of them and I couldn't get the plane to get off the ground. It just wouldn't work. But there's some really good freeware work by people. I don't know if they're in China or where, but they're doing the work to make these Chinese airports accessible to the rest of us, because right now a lot of them are missing or aren't really good. If you're watching on YouTube, I know you're not watching live. Thanks for watching the playback of this stream. Unfortunately, the stream for some reason went down and had a hiccup. You'll probably notice it on the playback, because I'm sure Twitch also dropped a ton of frames. Because when I looked, I noticed on my stats there were 0 dropped frames, and I know I had dropped some frames earlier. Then I look on YouTube and I realize, oh yeah, my stream has ended. So maybe you'll notice the quality is slightly better, because it seems like when Twitch playback is higher quality than YouTube for some reason. But maybe YouTube always downgrades it either way. But again, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Drop a comment if you're watching on YouTube, because, well, I didn't get to chat with you guys live. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow. It's totally free. And if you are inclined and want to support the stream, hit that subscribe button. Very much appreciated, and all that revenue, anything I make on either YouTube or Twitch right now, is going to go towards getting beyond ATC, so we have an even better ATC experience once that drops. Man, we are descending fast. Look at that. Oh, I should probably do this. I don't know why we're so far behind when it decided to start descending, but there we go. Kind of a deep dive there. Nav is struggling a little bit. I got the MEDAR just updated less than a second ago, so I really just refreshed it at just the right point. The VOR giving us, now everything's in miles per second, I think, or meters per second for their wind. So 90 degrees at 6 meters per second, which is 12 knots. Unlimited visibility, scattered clouds at 3,300 feet, which we can see. 16 degrees, 9-degree dew point, and an H of 1020. Fine on our transition altitude being 9,850 feet. Going to the local pressure at that. We were at 1031 HPA, then have to switch a little earlier. Sergelen VOR, we're going to throw that in just as a backup. VOR 119. Wait, no. Now, when I did this flight in X-Plane, I did download the satellite imagery for right around Ulaanbaatar, but the whole trip was kind of, I had satellite imagery for the whole world, but it was like really zoomed out, and so it didn't look as good. It kind of looked like where it's kind of loading in poorly down here. Some places will look better than others. For some reason, it's kind of loading in and then loading out, which is always a little irritating because look at how beautiful that landscape is, and then if it just, ugh. Well, but it's still better than what I was getting in X-Plane. And that meters one looks so fast. Right there, the go-around procedure. Charlie Kilo 101 to Charlie Kilo 299. Once we go there, we'll go into hold and then likely go right back to Charlie Kilo 113 for another attempt.
Cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing.
Descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude 4,500. Recall checked. Auto brake 2. Landing data. VREF 138. Flaps 40. Minimums. Radio 765. Approach briefing completed. Altimeters 1020. Waiting on our transition point. Checklist complete. Alright, there's the airport, there's the runway.
Cabin crew, seats for landing, please.
Landing gear down. Flaps 1. Getting on the glide path. Can bleed off enough speed. 30, 43 with the wind correction. Good for landing, runway 11, Mongol Air 502. Landing checklist down to the flaps, engine start switches, continuous, speed brake armed, landing gear down. Complete landing checklist, flaps 40. Not 40.
Approaching minimums.
Flaps 40, green light.
Minimums.
Continue. Auto throttle decided to go in at speed.
$500. $400. $300. $200. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Thing just doesn't want to go down. Another airport here with dual runway markings. The upgrade is not perfect. Clearing the flaps and the speed brakes.
Cabin crew, please disarm doors.
Alright, so we're going to take taxiway Delta Foxtrot. Delta Foxtrot to the terminal. We're going to take parking for gate 4. to shut down an engine. Yeah, it looks like the markings are a little messed up here. Right here for gate 4. There are 6 gates available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. F4. Not sure what's going on with the markings. Any engine power here anymore? Parking brake set. Engine 2 shut down. Seatbelts off. The collision light off. Probes off.
Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Microphone check, please. Crystal clear. 5 out of 5. Roger. Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure. Please open the doors when ready and begin deboarding. Okay, Captain. Ground power is available. Stand by. We'll start getting you uploaded in a couple of minutes. Roger.
All right. Let's get ground power.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Ladies and gentlemen, your portable electronic devices must not be used until you are inside the airport. When disembarking, please take care and hold onto the handrails while walking down the stairs. Please ensure that you supervise your children, and for your own safety do not walk underneath the wing. Thank you.
All right. let's take a look at Volanta and review the flight. Third person to arrive in Ulaanbaatar today. I used to seeing that kind of. Our route through a few of these storms, or at least flew over them. Our stats, you can see it took us actually 3 hours to do the flight, but it actually is a little bit longer. We'll get that once I calculate it. Just under 2,000 miles, 159 passengers, landing speed 127, landing rate -197 feet per minute. And you can see right there, that's where we had that little issue with our I must have hit the wrong button in the camera and actually ended up controlling the plane, and stuff kind of went sideways. Alright, give me a moment to throw in the numbers and we'll get you that in sim flight time. Surprised it took us 3 hours to do it, but I wasn't using time acceleration the whole time. Totally right too. So we off the blocks at 6:18. Took off 6:36. Zulu. Landed just now at 11:15 Zulu time. And back on the blocks at 11:90. Gives us a flight time of 4 hours 39 minutes and a block time of 5 hours and 1 minute. So kind of what it was showing. Anywhere between 4 and 6 hours it was like looking at, and we kind of split that in half. Not bad there. As passengers continue to deboard, let's check out the world tour map. Every country and territory we've been to so far on this world tour, and today there's Mongolia. Next flight will be going into Beijing, so a short one, just under 2 hours on, I believe we're flying Air China. That flight. We are Air China Flight 902, once again in the Boeing 737-800, and then we'll be flying a fictional Air China flight over to North Korea. We have a couple fictional flights. One into North Korea and then one out on Air Koryo. All in the 737, 2 Air China ones in the 737-800, and then we'll be in the 737-700 for Air Koryo. And then we're going to be jumping into the Airbus for a few flights. So that'll be nice to get back into the fly-by-wire, see how that weather radar is working, and if it is working. And hopefully not screw it up too bad. Looks like all the passengers are off. The bags still coming. As the sun sets here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Once again, sorry about any issues with the stream. Sometimes it just happens. It just doesn't want to work. And if you were watching on YouTube, thanks for coming back and watching. I'm going to try to get in chapters, and hopefully you're watching right now with chapters. You can jump around on the flight and get to the very interesting parts. Once again, thank you for coming for the flight. If you want to see the next flight, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell, give the video a like, comment below, and if you're on Twitch, please hit that follow button, or even better, hit that subscribe and throw a little support this way. But until next time, happy flying and take care.